All right, everybody. Welcome to my new YouTube channel. This is my very first video. This channel is going to be pretty much dedicated to 1/18 scale crawlers, mainly, if not exclusively, limited to the Trex's TRX4M platform. I've been in these for a decent amount of time now, and I love modifying these things. They're a blast. I have a lot of fun working on them and crawling with them. And I have a handful of things here that I thought, this would make good content for a video. So I'm going to jump right into it and show you what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about, and if you couldn't tell, I'll title this appropriately, but I want to talk about chassis. Chassis is a pretty deep subject, relatively speaking, when it comes to the TRX4M. There are a lot of options out there. There's a lot of options from the big manufacturers, the big brand names, but there's also some really cool things out there from the smaller independent crowd. And those are the ones I want to focus on, because those are the guys that are really pushing the envelope and making some really cool stuff. Not saying that the bigger names don't do cool things, but these guys they're really pushing it. One of my favorites right now, excuse me, one of my favorites right now is from a gentleman in the state of Mississippi, I do believe, and he does this little 3D printed chassis deal here, and you can find this on Etsy for like $5. I'll share my screen here in a second and I'll show you. But yeah, this is a chassis for $5, and I'll show you here. This is a brass Injora TRX4M skid. And if you guys are familiar with this platform at all, you'll know this is basically the centerpiece of any build. All your suspension links connect here, your transmission, your motor connect here. This is like the center of the weight of the truck or the vehicle, whatever it is you're building. And this is where most everything connects to, right? And the way he's got this set up, let me see if I can remember how this goes. The way he's got this set up, yeah, it works in conjunction with a factory dimension skid, and just bolts right in, just like that. You have to bring your own hardware, and let me show you that. I'll share this with you as well. You might want to look this up on Amazon. This is an awesome kit for hardware. You get almost every length imaginable that you would need for a TRX4M project, from the longer ones you need for the axles, shorter ones that you might need for shock mounting, things of that nature. Now, this doesn't give you every bolt and screw for a TRX4M, but this is the most popular size out of all the components on one of those vehicles. And there it is right there, M2.5 button socket cap screw. These are black. You can get them on Amazon. I think this was maybe 10 or 15 bucks. I don't remember, but this thing's been a lifesaver, right? Anyway, back to the point. If you're going to build one of these, this is from R&D-RC. Again, I'll show you the Etsy page where you can buy one of these. $5. I think with shipping, it's less than $12. And this is such a great design. I'm a big fan. I drove this thing. Obviously, I drove the wheels off this thing and ended up breaking this. And the cool thing about it is, being so cheap, I can go and buy another one, no problem. $5. I got another one that I already took this one apart, and I'm moving the parts off of this onto the other new one that I just got recently. But the design is what really wins here. I would love to see this thing come to market somehow. I don't know how you do it. That's one part of business throughout my life I never really got into, and that is securing the funds and the capital to launch an idea into a full-blown, full-scale product launch, right? I've been in business for a long time, but that's one segment of business I never got into. But somehow, if you can figure that out, man, if you're watching this, to make this thing, maybe CNC this out of aluminum, or maybe make the side rails out of aluminum and then 3D print the center parts. But like this rear cab mount right here is so cool looking, and it's so well designed and so thought out. The way the magnets are built into it, the way the magnets are built in here, there's not a lot of brain damage, so to speak, when it comes to putting one of these together. You only have one option for shock mounting, and that's fine, because these are ideal locations as far as geometry goes. These things crawl like crazy. You got tons of articulation, and it uses an Injora IR40 or IR60 body. Now, according to his suggested build sheet, this comes with some side skids, and they're at a pretty steep angle, and I'm not going to get into it too much here in this, but according to the build sheet, you're supposed to actually cut the corner of this cab off right here at an angle, and it meets up real nice to the skid that bolts onto the side of this. It's sick, man. It's really cool. I didn't commit to doing it because I had bought this for another truck that I was building, and I was like, man, I don't want to cut this up. I might buy another one, a different color maybe, but I just didn't want to cut this one up. But I still wanted to, I had this put together. I was driving it around, like, I want to put a body on it. So I was holding this, looking at it, going, do I want to cut it? And I'm like, well, wait a minute. What if I can make it fit without cutting it up? Which is what I did. So you can take this with a grain of salt. This is how I got mine to mount without cutting it up. The back bracket with magnets, it comes with the kit. I flipped it upside down and hot glued it in here with a piece of plastic on the back to reinforce it. And just, yeah, that's the position I put it in, and it mounts up perfectly on the back here. It keeps it high enough to where it doesn't interfere with the skid that comes with it. I don't have to cut the body up, and it doesn't look too horrible. I'll probably make another one of these videos for you guys to see what it looks like when it's all put together. I got some pictures out there on some of the Facebook TRX forums. You might have seen it floating around. And then on the front, I had so much gap there to fill up. I had some of this really stiff foam packing material. It's pretty rigid stuff, and I cut it up to the size and dimension I needed, and then hot glued it to the body of the vehicle there, and then hot glued the other magnetic plate, and it meets up real nice. But yeah, this is the one I really want to show you guys and make you aware of. And if you're at all curious or interested, and you're familiar with this and you've seen it and you're thinking about trying it, ignore the fact that mine's broken. Dude, I was bashing this thing. I was having such a blast with it, and I think it fell off. It fell off the side of a rock or something, and then it snapped this. But it's $5, man. Like, you can buy 3 or 4 of these in one go on Etsy and save on shipping. And if you break one, it's so easy to take apart and put back together. Like, here's the other one I got. Here's everything it comes with. And again, I'll show you the Etsy site where to get this from. It's from R&D-RC. It even sends you some stickers in the box here. Cool sticker, R&D-RC. R&D-RC. Oops. There's another one. There's another one stuck in the bottom of the box there. But here's an unbroken one. Okay, just to give you an idea what it looks like. I'll show you this right here. You get this prefabricated. Everything's glued in, mounted. The magnets are ready to go for $5. I don't know how this dude. I wouldn't be charging $5 for this thing. Heck no. This is a great design. It's assembled with the magnets ready to go. All you got to do is fabricate the body and get these things mounted up, clip it on, and then bolt your parts into it, and you've got suspension geometry and wheel clearance and steering clearance where you can really go do some serious crawling with one of these TRX4M platforms. It looks sick. It performs really well. So yeah, I'm making this video and putting this information out there because I couldn't find a lot about this myself, mostly just in forums. Maybe I'm old school. I like to watch YouTube videos, and I don't know if I like making them or not yet. This is kind of a new thing for me, but I was so impressed with this $5 chassis that I want to make a video about it. So yeah, I went out and bought another one, and I just noticed before I turned this video on, I was at the on his Etsy store, and I noticed he's got new colors. He's got white and purple. He's obviously still got black. Oh, here are the sliders too. These sliders are awesome. The geometry on these and the craftsmanship and the dimensions. The guy's a brilliant designer. If you designed this, man, I forget your name, Kelvin. If you designed this yourself and you manufactured this and you brought this to market yourself, you are one sharp dude. But yeah, there's kind of give you an idea of the angle and the fitment of the skid that goes on the side, and really well designed, really well made, 3D printed, but dimensionally and design wise, this thing is legit. And again, if this thing were to be manufactured out of aluminum or brass, anything, any semi-rigid metal that would be a little more robust and handle a fall a little bit better, I'd be all over it. And I'm just looking at it, curious, maybe if these were flat rails, they'd be easier to manufacture. But you do have some bends in here that would make it a little bit more, as you can see there. I'm trying to line it up with the camera. You'd see there's some bends in there that might make the manufacturing process a little bit more difficult if you were to do aluminum or brass or something else like that. But anyway, R&DRC, I'll show the page, and I'll move on to the next thing I wanted to talk about here. So wrap this up. R&DRC, totally legit. The next one, here, let me, here is their, here's the Etsy page. R&DRC. Go to Etsy, type in R&DRC, RC parts, and there's the black version. Oh, it looks like he's got a new video. Is this up? I don't remember this video was there before or not, but yeah, that's what it looks like. That's a Injora IR40 body. But yeah, they're pretty rad, man. Check them out. Here's what it looks like with the IR60. You got that nice angle. You got this nice angle with the skid and the suspension angles and geometry. Really cool. The one that I built was a Bronco front link setup with high trail rear links, and it was very capable. Very capable. I think I was running a 64 millimeter tire, and it was impressive, let me tell you. So, all right, that's the R&DRC. Go give them some love. For $5, you got nothing to lose, only to gain. Very fun, and you don't even have to throw a body on it. Put a skid in it with a motor and some links and some axles, and have fun. It will be fun, I promise you. All right, next one. I want to talk about this real quick. This is chassis related. The theme of this video is TRX4M chassis. The next one is also an Etsy store, Opie Factory. I'll show you their page here when I'm getting close to the end and where I'm getting ready to make my point here with this one. Opie Factory, very popular. I'm assuming they've been around for a while, but this guy makes some cool stuff for TRX4Ms as well. And I seen this on his store, and I just overlooked it because when I saw it on his page, I just looked over it because I glanced at it, and I'm like, that's not a part that fits my vehicle. As a matter of fact, I don't know what that is. And then, you know, because of my My low attention span OCD ass, I accidentally read the header for what this thing is and figured out what it's for, and it's really cool. What this does, it's a jig, and you put your TRX 4M skid into this thing, and I've done a brass one already. I'll show it on a Bronco that I've got here. But what it does, it's a jig. You can mount up a skid into this thing, a metal one or plastic one, whatever you want to do, and you run screws through these holes. Being 3D printed, I was very impressed with the tolerances that he was able to achieve with a 3D printed block of plastic. I mean, look at the quality on this thing. I've already used it. You can tell there's brass shavings in there. But he was able to achieve, you look through these holes, he did a great job. I don't know how he did it, but the tolerances he's able to achieve with a 3D printed block, and then have it hold in a very precise location. Hold this skid, you mount this in, and then what it does, he's got these metal inserts here that are guides for, I don't know if you can see it I'm not going to dig it out, but there's you'll have to trust me, there's a drill bit and a tap in there. You mount this thing up, you put it in a vise, and you drill into this on each side, and then he gives you these 3D printed rails. These are part of a different kit. They don't come with this. This kit here is just the jig. This is what you're looking for, is just this jig. I don't think it comes with it. I don't remember, because I bought a bunch of stuff from him at one point in time. If it does come with the rails, forgive me. I can't remember if it does. But point is, Opie Factory makes these side rails that will then, the holes will be like right here. When you pull it out of the jig, you'll have these holes here that you can then tap with the tap that he gives you, and you can screw on these sidebars. And what these sidebars do, they allow for you to, instead of have your factory frame rail or your aftermarket flat aluminum rail or your aftermarket flat carbon fiber rail mount at this higher location, what you do is you're dropping the frame rail down and bringing this skid and this low point, you're pushing it up into the frame. The frame's coming down or the skid is going up. Either way, you're creating more ground clearance. And you're taking this protrusion from the bottom of the vehicle, you're taking that protrusion away. And that's great for crawling. It takes away this obstacle off the bottom of the vehicle. And then the frame, which normally has bolts that go through this hole and this hole and this hole, you use these holes here and here, and you just mount the frame to this lower location. And then your upper suspension goes up in here, and the lower suspension goes in its normal location. So this thing, man, really cool. I think it was 15, 16, 17, 18 bucks, but you can reuse it. I run all metal skids. I like the Enduro ones because they got this notch here. You can take your drive shafts out without taking the whole thing apart. Enduro's awesome. The design and the thought and the quality from Enduro is top notch. But Opie Factory, this thing, cool, love it. It's a good, well thought out solution to getting ground clearance problems taken care of with that the how the skid protrudes from the bottom of the frame rail. So here's what I did though. There's a Bronco that I built. The goal with this truck here, I wanted to keep a factory Traxxas body, but do as much of everything else to it as I possibly could. Everything. I'm not even done with this yet. I want to take this as far as I can go and still keep the factory body. When I say factory body, I mean it's a Traxxas body. Yeah, I took the wheel wells out of it, slightly modified, but the main thing is I want to keep the factory mounting clips. That's my main thing with this. To keep it as close to factory as possible, to me, it comes down to the mounting clips. And that really limits you when it comes to frames. So here's what I did with this one. This is a factory Traxxas body, but it's got the factory mounting clips, factory mounting locations. And in my little brain, my little world, to me, this is still a factory body, even though it's been slightly modified, okay? So, this is an Endura aluminum frame, and I used the Opie factory skid modifier here. I tried to set it up to where I could drop the aluminum frame down on the skid the way that you're supposed to, but there's a slight problem. Remember when I mentioned this will only work with flat frame rails? Well, this Endura aluminum frame isn't flat. It mimics the original geometry of a Bronco or a K10 or a high trail frame. So it gets more narrow to the front. And to achieve that, there's a bend right here, and so it gets more narrow. And that means you can't raise the skid up any higher. It will interfere here with this bend. So, darn it, it blew my plans. Just to give you a closer look there. It blew my plans. And ignore the wiring mess and the Velcro mess. This is totally getting redone soon. I've just been messing around with how I want to have this set up, right? So forgive the mess. But the point of it is, the Opie jig that I used, I was able to get the holes drilled in the skid, and you can see the rails that get attached to the side. So instead of lowering down the frame and bringing this up into the frame, I have these ramp crab skids that have the mounting hole locations that match up to the side of the frame rail. And it essentially achieves the same thing. What it does is I don't have this massive protrusion from the bottom of the frame now. It's, try and get a profile shot of it here. It's nice and smooth and flat. So if that wasn't there, you'd have this big chunk, this belly sticking down, right? Well, not anymore. And you can see I've tested it a little bit. It's a little scratched up. This works great. And you can compensate for the same effect by not dropping the frame down. You can adjust the height of your suspension and everything. I've got this down about as far as it'll go. The suspension is drooped as far as it'll go. I don't have this belly protrusion, and I achieved the same effect by getting these holes drilled into the side of the skid with the Opie factory jig. Got his rails mounted on the side, and then I just bolted these skids to it. So it worked out really good. As you can see, nothing protrudes. It's nice and smooth on the bottom. And I was kind of skeptical about what kind of drag I might get in these open areas here, and it hasn't been an issue. Hasn't been an issue at all, which I'm still testing this. I can't believe that this long piece here doesn't get caught up more than it does. So far, it's performed really well. I have a rock pile in my living room, so I'm going to be testing this later today, and I've been testing it for the last couple days, but it goes pretty good for being the dimensions that it is. And yeah, I run this without springs, and there's a look at the articulation of the suspension, and yeah, no protrusion. So that's the Opie factory component that I wanted to discuss here and wanted to show you guys. And this is one long rambling video. I know, I apologize. But we'll see how this goes. I'm not a video editor. I'm not going to edit. I'm just going to record and talk. So hopefully it doesn't drive people away. All right. So now for the special part. For those of you who were brave enough to tolerate my annoying voice and my ramblings up to this point, now the best part. I don't know if it's the best part, but it's the most exciting part because I've got a special unboxing. Got this in the mail today. We're talking about chassis. But before that, I promised I would show you the Opie Factory. Let me pull that up on Etsy. Let me show you the part. All right, share my desktop here with you real quick. Okay, so go to Etsy, look up Opie Factory. So look at that part right there. That's what it was. Opie Factory high clearance drill jig. Like, I skimmed over that 3 or 4 times. Shame on me. I skimmed over that a few times, never thinking that's something I would want or use. But here's what it is. Oh, it's more. It costs more than I thought it did. I thought it was like 18 bucks. 24 bucks. Worth every penny. There's a picture of it in a drill press. You can go check this out on your own. But yeah, there's what you're able to achieve. It gets that low spot from your skid sucked up into the body. Awesome. It's reusable. Comes with the drill bit, and it comes with a tap. It's an awesome little piece of kit. Definitely worth the money. I've got, let's see, 3 or 4, maybe 5 other trucks I'll use it on. So totally cool. Anyway, Opie Factory, check them out on Etsy. I know you've heard of them. If not, you're welcome. RNDRC, Opie Factory. Next one I want to talk about is DBRC. I got a package from them in the mail today. This is the unboxing right here. They had a sale not too long ago. They had a scratch and dent sale. I bought 2 of their most popular chassis. The Gila Monster chassis and the King Snake chassis. I don't know which one is which here, so I'm just going to go for it. This is the unboxing right here. You're seeing it. Unboxing or unbagging. In a scratch and dent sale. Apparently some of the rails for these chassis kits got scratched or something, and he discounted them heavily. So I'm like, I already had one on order. Like the day before this scratch and dent thing happened, I had a chassis on order. I had one on order. Then I saw the scratch and dent sale, and I'm like, hey, can I cancel my order? And then order 2 of your scratch and dents, which is what I did. So not only did I get 1 chassis, I got 2 for almost the same freaking price. So this looks like, this is the Gila Monster. Yeah, scratch and dent. It's got some dents. So when I bought this, I got the frame rails. I got the modified skid, just because I have one of these I could cut up myself. And I'm like, why not? I got it. Screws, frame rails. Oh, look at this! I didn't know it came with this. It's got a cooler. No way. It's got a cooler. It says DBRC on it. Ah, it's a 3D printed cooler. I know exactly where I'm putting this. Look at this. 3D printed cooler. DBRC. What's inside? Shims. Cool. Very nice. I love it. Wow. Thank you. I did not know that was going to be in there. That's a genuine surprise right there. So you got skid. Cooler with shims in it. Chassis screws. Shock screws. Frame rails. And then here's the cool part. All the bits to kind of connect it all together. 3D printed. So you've got a front. I'm not sure which one's front. It's not marked, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. You've got a recessed area where you can... Are these the same? It doesn't matter. They're the same. One goes in the front, one goes in the back. They're the same. At least that's what it appears to be. You got a recessed area where you can glue some magnets, and you also have a center section you can thread to put a post in to mount bodies. And these basically go on, I think, like this, right? And then you screw your rails to it. And it's got some skids. I ordered and it's got a, this appears to be a, oh yeah, this is a tray. I know where this goes. This is a tray. This goes on the back of your skid, I will bet you money. Like so. Perhaps. To put electronics, right? So, this is the Gila Monster. I'm not going to put this thing together, but I will take it out and fondle it in front of you. So yeah, there is some damage, there's some scratches. It doesn't appear to be enough to make, well, there's kind of bent right there. I have to tweak that a little bit. There's a little bit of a bend. So anyway, yeah, scratch and dent. I think he left him in the tumble machine or something, he said. He walked away and came back and like there's some dents and scratches in it, but as far as I can tell so far, this is purely cosmetic. I bought it for the design. Actually, is this the King Snake? I think this is the King Snake. This is not the Gila Monster. We'll find out in a second when I bust open the other package, but this, I think, is King Snake. Just based on the dimensions. This is also Etsy, okay? Got an Etsy store. These are the skids. I'm not sure exactly how those go on yet, but DBRC. Pretty cool. Comes with everything you need. I even got the skid. Didn't come with this. You have to modify your own, or he cuts this up and sells it to you. I just opted for this just because I wanted to see how he did it, how it's done, what it looked like. So there's this one. I'll scoot this all to the side. Here's the other one. I think this one is the Gila Monster. I think. Nope, this is the King Snake. I think, yeah, this is the King Snake because it's got bends. The King Snake has bends in it. So there you go. This is also a scratch and dent. Got a good price on it. I don't care about the cosmetics. I'm not building these to look at them. I'm building them to perform. So, this is also a kit. Comes with all kinds of stuff. The front, rear mounts. Wow. This is some shiny stuff. That is cool. Yeah, this is the front mount, the rear mount. Pretty cool. This is really shiny. If you can't tell, this is what he called lime green silk, plastic material. It's really cool looking. It'll look good next to the aluminum. Yeah, it looks pretty sharp. Getting a lot of glare here. Change the lighting a little bit, see if that helps. But anyway, sorry for the lighting. But yeah, this is gorgeous. Skids. Ooh, spots for magnets, cool. That'll help mount a body. I'm not sure what body it's going on yet. And this looks like a battery tray. Again, probably for this guy right here. Yep. Battery tray. Cool. All right. And then a cooler. And I know what's in the cooler. I got 2 DBRC coolers. You know what that'll go good with? Check this out. I have a 2-year-old. And he walked up. I work from home. And he walked up to me today and he showed me this. Look at this. How cool is that? I don't know, even know where he got it, but he got this little bag of dirt. It's a hard molded plastic toy bag of dirt. Like, where did you find that? That'd be so cool to put in the back of a truck and glue that in there. It's gonna go in the back of this TRX4M, basically a stock TRX4M high trail. Put a bag of dirt in the back and then stick a cooler back there. How neat is that? Anyway, yeah, there you go. DBRC King Snake. That's going to be a fun project. And I got a Gila monster. That's going to be a fun project. I got a Fury Tech Cedar with transmission. It's going to be here soon. I've got a Fury Tech Cedar motor sitting in a box ready to go. And I've also got a Hobbywing Mini 16 that I'm looking for something that'll fit. So yeah, I got some stuff to put together here, but these are very well known from DBRC, very popular. Looking forward to putting these together. Wanted to make everyone aware of these kits, what they come with, and what you expect to get. Again, please remember, this is not typical. The scratches and everything in these, this was a special deal. This was a scratch and dent sale. They're not going to look like this when you pay regular price and you get a regular normal version of these, okay? Please know that. Yeah, there's some scratching in these. I don't care. Dimensionally and functionality wise, these are fine. That's all I care about. I'm cheap. I'll take the discount for the cosmetic blemishes, whatever. So there is the DBRC kits. I can't wait to start working on these. Let me show you the Etsy store real quick, just so you know what one you're looking at. Here we go. So there's the King Snake landing page for DBRC. I'm not going to click through all these, but give you an idea of what you're getting into. Okay. Here's the Gila monster, DBRC chassis dynamics. Go check them out. Yeah, and then there's the R&D. Gila monster. There's a Gila without anything on it. And there's the King Snake. I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to ramble on about. How long has this video been going? 40 minutes. I wonder if this is going to get any views. My first video. I plan to do more. I just don't know what the content's going to be yet. But you'll probably be seeing this again. You'll probably be seeing this one again. You'll probably see the R&D chassis again. You'll see that Bronco again. I'm always fiddling and faddling around with crap. I'm like, why not record it? There might be someone that would appreciate it. I got these today. Oh, crap. There. I forgot to turn my camera back on my desktop. So I got these today. You probably recognize these. Little Guy Racing product. Black labels. I really want to trim these. I don't know how big of a thing it is, but I've seen a few people doing it where they take the sharp corner of these lugs off and it kind of rounds the tire out a little bit better. Man, that looks good. I like that. And these are cheap enough. I think these are like $15 for a full set. It's like, yeah, I like to experiment with stuff. I think I'm going to trim the edges off of these, round it out a little bit and see what it looks like. And then I'll report back on that as well. And next time you see them, they probably, they're not going to have stock foams in them. And they'll probably have a brass, Injora wheel inside it. I'm not sure about the weights or the rings yet, but man, these things are so soft. Like the rubber is just insanely thin. It really does feel like a tire. It smells like it. It smells like it too. It smells like you walk into a tire shop. That's what this smells like. It's like they use the exact same grade of rubber almost, except it's really thin. Yeah, cool. So that's that. I'm gonna shut up. Thanks for watching. I'm not going to beg for likes or subscribes. I'm just going to pump out material, and if people like it and it's valuable and helpful or at least entertaining, cool. Peace out, man.